Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing the Behind the Booktuber tag. So I was tagged by Isabel from Happy For Now to do this tag a few months ago. Was it like November of last year? I don't know, but it was getting to the point where it was getting to the holidays and I got so busy. So I have not done this tag yet. It has been on my calendar for forever. I have a Google Calendar that I put in all of my videos that I want to do and when I want to do them, and I do love that because then I can move things around, but I just kept moving this back. So we are finally doing it. This was a video that was created by the Book Wanderer. I will leave the channel and original video link down below, as well as Isabel's channel as well. And it looks like we have about 9 questions here, and we're just gonna jump on into it. So the first question is, what kind of camera do you use? When I first started my channel like 3 years ago, I was using my iPhone, but I currently use a Canon GX7 Mark II, which I absolutely love. We originally bought this camera to take on our honeymoon a couple years ago because I wanted to take pictures and video, and I absolutely love this camera. We currently have 2 batteries for it because, again, when we took it on our honeymoon, we wanted to be able to switch out the batteries during the day just in case. I don't think we had to do that too often. And then we have an SD card in there that is quite big. I think I used to have a 64 or 32 gig thing on there, and now we have at least doubled or tripled that because I wanted to have more space. And I absolutely love this camera. The only downside for me personally with this camera is it only records like 23 or 24 minutes at a time. It actually is probably like 23 and like 45 seconds. I don't fully know, but it stops after that time. And so usually I make sure my videos are less time than that, so I don't have to worry about making sure the camera's still recording or stopping it and then starting it again to continue what I was saying. But sometimes my videos are long and that happens. Question number 2, do you use any additional equipment? So I do have a tripod. I guess technically have 2 now. The tripod that I use the most often, I will insert a little clip of it here, is my husband's tripod. I don't know for what camera this was for or when he got it, but before we even had this camera that I'm using, he had that tripod, and the camera has the right connector thing. I think most cameras do for the tripods. And then I do have a ring light that we actually purchased in like November, I think it was, because I originally was doing a lot of my videos during the day when Leon's parents were living with us. They would be able to take Presley, go out, do stuff, or go upstairs and do stuff while I filmed. So I had basically childcare while I was filming. However, they did leave on November 1st and they went back home, and so I had to figure out how to film things without a major schedule. I used to be able to film things early in the day with natural lighting and I didn't have to worry about a lot of stuff. But obviously we were getting into the winter months and Presley is Presley. The older he gets, the more chaotic it is to film with him, even though I still film with him sometimes. And so we got a ring light so that I was able to film later in the day if needed. I have not needed to film at night yet, and I can definitely see a difference in light quality versus natural light and ring light. Neither of them are bad. I think I prefer natural light more, which is actually what I'm using right now. It's like 9:30, almost 10 in the morning, so we're using that natural light. But I do have a ring light, which also has a tripod. You guys are actually on the ring light part of the tripod because the other tripod's in the other room. But yeah, so ring light, tripod, that's it. I don't have a microphone or anything like that. I use what comes with the camera. Number 3, scripted or spontaneous? How do you plan what you're going to say in your video? I want to say I'm almost 100% spontaneous. I will obviously have the books that I want to talk about, or I might have ideas of what I want to say, but it comes out more naturally for me if it is spontaneous. At the very beginning of my channel, I think I tried to script it out a little bit more, and I kept finding myself like questioning whether I was saying the right thing and looking down and trying to figure out where I needed to be in my script. So literally, I will sometimes take notes on like, this is the book I want to talk about, or these are the pieces from the book that I want to talk about, but I don't actually have a script. And so there are definite times where I film something after planning out like what I want to talk about, all this kind of stuff, and then when I go to edit, I'm like, oh darn, I forgot to mention this, which means it's just not in the video. I do feel like I talk about enough. I'm a very big rambler, as we can see, but yeah, it's almost 100% spontaneous. How many takes do you do when filming? One, I think, I'm pretty sure. However, if I do like flub a line here or there, I will restate myself. I'm sorry if the tripod or the camera looks like it's shaking a little bit. Presley's playing with like the ring light clicker down here. It's not plugged in, so the lighting's not changing, but he's definitely playing with it. But yeah, so if I flub a line or it doesn't quite sound right to my ears, I might just re-say it again, like right away, but I don't do multiple takes of certain parts unless I have Presley in a video with me and sometimes he gets completely in the way or he starts getting mad that I'm not letting him grab certain things like books or camera, things like that. And so there are times where I start to do like a book that I'm talking about and then have to do something with him, calm him down, wait later in the day until he's asleep, and then we'll like restart that part. But most of the time, I'm one and done. If you use music in your videos, where do you find it? I think I have every single piece of music that I use from the YouTube audio library, because that way I can guarantee that it doesn't have any like copyright stuff going on with it. It will actually tell you in the YouTube audio library if you need to credit the person a specific way, that kind of thing. And I only use music for my intro and outro, which has been the same song the entire time I've had this channel, which is About That Oldie. Can't remember the artist name. I will leave it down below, but I just absolutely love that type of music. And then also like when I'm doing B-roll footage for my vlogs, I personally do not like background music in videos when you are also talking. Now, if you have closed captioning, I think you can get away with that a little bit more because I keep closed captioning on everything. So Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, if there's closed captioning, then I use it. But I know a lot of people don't use closed captioning on YouTube. Some people are not able to do it themselves. I try to close caption all of my videos, but if you don't have that closed captioning aspect and you have the background music and you talking a lot of the times, yeah, books, it gets too hard to hear. And I'm not somebody that is hard of hearing or anything like that, but I do also find it hard to concentrate on what you're saying if your background music especially is like too loud. So I just avoid all background music while talking. How do you make your thumbnails? So I use Canva. I basically do them the easiest way possible because I am not a super knowledgeable artsy person on these online things, but Canva is so easy to use. I have used it both on my phone as well as the computer, and basically for me what I do, he wants me to play a phone game with him, and basically for me what I do is I go on, put my thumbnail picture that I want to use in it, I adjust the lighting and contrast a little bit in the picture every single time, and then I have fonts to put in a title to make it a little bit more interesting, and that's basically it. I have a pretty good look, I feel like, to my thumbnails now. It's just my preference, but for everything that I have done with my thumbnails, Canva has been super easy and I really do love it. What do you use to edit your videos? So I use HitFilm Express. I think this is the thing that I have always used to edit my videos. I don't know exactly how I found it because again, it's been over 3 years since I started my channel, but I think I just like was looking up free video editing software. HitFilm does have a paid version, but I use the free version. I have always used the free version and it is so good. I know that they upgraded their version in like the end of 2019 and it took me until the end of 2020 to actually upgrade because you don't have to do that every single time unless you want to, and I was a little bit stuck in my ways of like where the editing pieces are, but I'm very happy that I did upgrade. It's a little bit different, but it's still very easy to use. And then I did pay for a couple packs that are like starter packs when I did upgrade. You don't have to do this at all, but it gives you a little bit extra things. And one thing that I know I got with one of the editing packs, I think it was, is the picture-in-picture function, which I don't use very often because, like, if I'm putting a picture of a book in, that's a little different. But this, like, lets you do video and video, basically. And I definitely used it when I did the Chronicles of Crime playthrough video because we had us, we had the board, and then we also had an app on my phone, and it made it so much easier to edit. That video would have taken me hours more than it already took if I didn't have that picture-in-picture option. So I did pay for a little bit of like things, but it was totally worth it. The actual software is free and I absolutely love it. Any tips, tricks, or hacks when it comes to filming or editing? I don't know. I just go with the flow as much as possible, especially with him. As you can see, he's in probably about half of my videos. I have my husband watch him during the weekend a lot of the times when we're filming, if I don't want him to potentially get up all in the camera. It depends on like what videos I'm filming, or I'll wait till nap time for him to go to sleep so I can film. But I don't know if I actually have any tips or tricks. Just be yourself, I guess, because my favorite videos to watch are people that seem very genuine. I don't like it when people feel like they have to project a certain type of personality, and the reason you can sort of tell when people do that is like every video of theirs, they act differently. So just be you. One thing I will say is, I don't know if it's an editing or a filming trick, but I absolutely do love the Google Calendar to plan my videos. I think I'm planned like 2 months out right now, and I'm usually about 2, almost 3 months out because I can have an idea and figure out where I want to put it, but then I can always move my videos around if needed. So like this one here I mentioned earlier, I got tagged at least 2-3 months ago and I put it on my calendar, on my schedule, but then certain things popped up that were more time sensitive. I had to do that in a certain month or a certain week, and so I just slowly started moving it back. And now here we are. I don't have to worry about like crossing things out in a paper journal or a paper calendar. It is just so much easier to plan out. You also have a section where you can put like notes of ideas. It has just made everything so much easier to have a visual calendar like that. So again, I don't think it's necessarily filming or editing tricks, especially since I think my filming and editing is like the bare minimum of what you should probably do. So yeah, that. In your opinion, what makes a good video from a production standpoint? So for me, lighting is probably one of them. Just have it so that it's not too dim to see. It doesn't necessarily have to be a ring light or studio lights or anything like that. Natural light is what I have used for years. And you just want it so that you have a little bit more visual interest or contrast on screen. It's not as good for me personally when you have people that are probably like in a room that doesn't have any windows and there's no lighting source. So it is all just a little bit dim, a little bit hard to see. Also in your videos, try to take out as many pauses as possible. Since I'm very sort of spontaneous in what I talk about, how I film my videos, I do find myself sometimes thinking through the words I want to say in between books, in between ideas, in between sentences. So this doesn't necessarily have to be when you're filming. In editing, take out those extra pauses. It just gives a little bit more flow to the videos as well and makes things not necessarily speed by, but keeps the interest going more than like if you have too many pauses in it. This is just something, at least for me, as a personal preference. I think those are the two major things from a production standpoint. The lighting source and the pauses when you're speaking. Take them out in editing if you need to. Besides that, again, I just like people based on their personality. As long as you feel very genuine and you're talking about things that you love, I will watch. And again, it doesn't even have to necessarily be books. I love it when people have booktube channels that also feature other interests. Could be basically anything. Vlogs that also feature parts of their life, not just the books they read. It is just something that I love so much, and you will definitely see videos like that on my channel where I talk about board games, video games, Presley. It's just what it is. And that is it for this tag. I hope you guys liked seeing a little bit of the behind the scenes of my stuff. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up Mondays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!